I've
that
only
like
just
half
got
an
my
hour
Xbox, I haven't
whirring
plugged it in
away?
yet.
Oh, it's loud. It's not like PS3. But anyway,
But yeah, they brought in the new Slim. It's smaller, it's quieter. Xbox are going to bring it out, and it's an Elite, so they're reducing the prices. Your standard Elite is 180. They're going to be bringing that down to 150. So effectively getting the game for free. The Xbox standard with the hard drive, the white one, that one, not the arcade, is down from 150 to 129.99. Shop around.
The slimline model. What effect to the hard drive is that going to have?
Nothing.
No, it's going to be the same size.
Same as they're talking about putting a 250 gig hard drive in it. You can't officially buy a 250 gig hard drive for the Xbox, but you can, and they're made by Microsoft. They're just released from different channels. But no official word on the hard drive as of yet.
do you need a new hard drive? Like, say I separated the hard drive, I dropped my Xbox on the floor, and I bought one of the new Slims. Can I plug it in and still have all my old data on there?
If
Or am I going to have to, buy Braid again or something like that?
Don't think you need to buy the game. If you've downloaded the game from the Xbox network, you can always re-download it, can't you?
I think we were talking about the save data.
Save data. If it's got the connection, it will work. But the best thing to do is to buy an external hard drive and run it off USB. That's what Microsoft were talking about. PS2 was going to do that as well.
Defeats the purpose.
So as far as you know, those hard drives aren't compatible with the Slim
No, as far as I know, they don't want to talk to each other.
This is like the PS2 to PS3, where you used to have your memory cards, and now
It just didn't work.
you can't do it anymore.
That's why the PS3 has a bit of an advantage in that you can pull the hard drive out of there, and that is a SATA hard drive, which is basically a PC hard drive, and put your own drive in there. So you can upgrade it from the original 6 gig, which is mine, to a 500 gig SATA drive, and it works. You just have to install the PlayStation software on there. Not a problem. Runs off the BIOS. Well, that's the hardware from my side. Any other hardware talks from you guys?
Really, no.
I don't think so. That's as much hardware as I want to talk about for quite a long time.
Right, because the E3...
Very interesting stuff.
I mean, the E3 games, there's been a lot of announcements, there's been a lot of good things, bad things, a lot of previews to E3. Things like Fallout New Vegas was announced a while back, we all know that's playing good. But the games that you've been interested in are the Comeback Kings.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, as kind of time goes on, obviously it gets more, it costs more and more to make games, so the various games publishers want to be sure that they're going to have a definite kind of hit on their hands from a commercial standpoint. So we've got a lot of sequels, haven't we? We've got stuff like Gears of War 3, which does, I have to admit, look fantastic, but it's a sequel, and I imagine it'll have the same things in it, both good and bad. It'll have the great gameplay, the awful story, and so on. And there's a Call of Duty game,
Black Ops. You
Black
can
Ops.
pre-order it now, even though it's not coming out for exactly 1 year.
And there's a Gran Turismo that's been
been
delayed a
forever
while,
delayed.
but we'll talk about release dates in a bit. And then there's a lot of quite old games as well. There's, I say old games, there's
Rehashes.
sort of rehashes are trying to bring back kind of old classics from previous consoles. So there's a Donkey Kong Country game, there's a new GoldenEye, and various other things like that.
Tell us about the Donkey Kong GoldenEye, because technically they're not rehashes, and the people making them aren't the same people.
We have a lot of issues with this GoldenEye.
Well, let's start with GoldenEye then. Why is it not good? Because GoldenEye was the best game on the N64. I've said Perfect Dark before was the best game on the N64. I still don't know which is which. All I know is that when you say GoldenEye, people go, yes, fantastic.
It was an extremely good shooter back in 1996.
Who's the character in GoldenEye? That's
Brosnan.
The character is Pierce Brosnan in the original GoldenEye, and in the film. And in the new GoldenEye, it's not. It's the current Bond.
Daniel Craig. Who's also a good Bond.
We're not denying that, but we don't understand why he's in a story.
The thing is, why would you want to bring it back? Yes, it was a very good game, but I think it's sort of people's eyes getting a bit kind of clouded, really. Like
glazed over
glasses. Yeah. With it's not that it wouldn't still be good, but is it still the best console shooter? No, it was the first really good one, and it was the first game that made console shooters really popular, and it still had quite a lot to love about it. But the same people went on to make Perfect Dark, which was similar but an improvement. Then they went on to make Time Splitters, which was similar but an improvement, and they made 3 of those games, and and then kind of vanished. So
Will it be the same missions? This is what I'm.
That's what they're saying. It's
I don't
keeping
know.
it to the
That's what
same
they're
story.
saying. Yeah.
So they've changed.
They've changed the
the
character. They've changed a little bit of the story, but they've put Wii
Essentially
motion
the
controls
same-
into it. So you're going to use the Wii.
And they updated the graphics
shoot.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And give
But-
them a bit of polish.
To me, it smacks of putting Wii controls into a game that doesn't require it, and then
Yeah.
giving an old game. I mean, they put Wii controls into Pro Evolution Soccer, and it was awful. You play it with a classic controller, brilliant. GoldenEye is something everyone remembers. I mean, this is why Square haven't updated Final Fantasy VII, because they know people have this rose-tinted glasses appeal of it. They would, if they did it, it would either be wrong, Cloud wouldn't look right. I mean, people would say it doesn't play like that.
Yeah.
Nintendo are taking a big punt on this. I mean, GoldenEye is an absolute classic, and it's one of those games that you just shouldn't touch. And like you say, Pierce Brosnan, easily my favourite Bond. GoldenEye, my favourite movie of the Bond series. I don't think there's been a better James Bond. My sister would definitely disagree with that. But comes down to it, they just fit. Brosnan, GoldenEye. Who was the guy who was the baddie? Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all fitted together, and it fitted with an N64 pad. I hated the N64 pad with an absolute passion, but give me GoldenEye, give me an N64 pad, and it just works.
It fitted Pierce Brosnan, and it fitted in 1996.
Yes, and it fits in the memory as me going, I love playing that. I don't play it now, but when I think of that,
The memories
it's
are
great.
going to be dashed, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, Wii controls Daniel Craig,
You're going to left with a bit of taste in your mouth.
but it will be a good game.
Yeah.
That's the
So
thing.
there's a lot of rehashes of old games, but could one of them be good? Oh, I think it could, because
It's
there's
just
a new
compelling.
Deus Ex game coming out.
Yes,
Yeah.
you've been wanting
Which
to
I've
know
been
about
really wanting to go out for ages. Because right, so for those who don't know, the first Deus Ex came out back in I think it was 2000. It was, and I admit I haven't played it for a while, so I might go back to it and think this is terrible, but certainly for my money, it's one of my favourite games. It's one of the best games ever. It's a first-person shooter. It's a role-play game. It's very deep. You can approach any mission in a whole number of kind of different ways. You can upgrade your weapons. You can upgrade yourself. You can do all sorts of different things. There was a sequel, and it wasn't as good. And then the whole because the studio that actually made it went under, the whole thing died down for a bit. But now there's a third game coming out. It's Square have got involved, and we were saying earlier, weren't we? They don't really make bad games.
Square
There's one on
can't
the
make a bad
PS2
game.
that you thought wasn't so hard.
Only because it was a launch title.
Yeah.
As tradition goes, the only launch title launch titles that I know have been any good have been the Ridge Racer games. Because Namco have always bought the PlayStation kit straight away. The thing is, it was Eidos that made the game,
Yeah.
and it was
Well,
they made Tomb
with
Raider,
the publisher.
or
Yeah.
the publisher. But you said that they got swallowed by Square, and they've retained a lot of the people that worked on this game. So it's the original guys.
Yeah.
That's the good
But
thing.
the main the guy who conceived the game, I'm a lead designer, Warren Spector. And it was his kind of brainchild. He's not working on it. He's kind of moved on. So it's the same with the Donkey Kong games, with the GoldenEye games. The people who worked at Rare, who made it, most of them have since moved on. And so you think, are these games going to be as good? But with the new Deus Ex, we haven't got much to go on, but the trailer looks fantastic. And you've seen the trailer.
I've seen the
You thought it
trailer.
looked
I've
very good,
never
didn't
played Deus Ex before, but the trailer does
Does it
look
quite appeal?
awesome. It
Yeah.
really, really does.
Would you buy it on the strength of that trailer, knowing
Yeah.
that there's a first two
Absolutely.
games? I bought Fallout 3 knowing that I hadn't played the first two, just on the strength of that